10:35 with Manitoba beef producers, Great Taste of Manitoba and Anna Boris. We're starting with our pulled beef sliders with mango, fennel, slaw. Something, you know, like game day. And then we've got this fennel slaw, so I can't wait to hear more about all of these steps. So where do we get started?
So this is slow cooker meal. So this is set it and forget it.
Love it already.
Kind of a meal. Yeah,
Sold.
absolutely. This, so we've got an inside round here. So it is a little bit leaner. It's a little more affordable. So there's not that much fat in it. So you might lose a little bit of that fat in there, but you absolutely can use short ribs. This works just as well. We've got this luscious gravy that we're gonna make, but first off, we're just searing this inside round off right now.
Step number one.
Step number one.
Get it brown on all sides.
Yep, get that nice and beautiful.
Yeah.
As soon as you've got those edges, we're gonna throw it in our slow cooker right away.
Okay.
Okay.
And you've got a mirepoix in there already.
Yeah, so we've got our beautiful, we've got the carrots, celery, onions, boom, that's in there.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna make our braising liquid now. So we've already got some beef stock in here, just a little can of beef stock. You don't need to buy a whole jug of it, just one can.
Okay.
And then we've got a nice dark Irish stout beer going in here. So whichever is your favorite. It doesn't even have to be a dark beer, whatever, your favorite beer.
Beer.
Yeah.
Beer. It's
Beer.
game day after all.
We're gonna add some garlic, of course, because garlic.
Got to.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of tomato paste that we're gonna add in here as well. Okay. We've got a little bit of soy sauce.
Okay.
And then just 2 bay leaves. So you're gonna bring this guy up to a boil. It's mostly just to kind of cook out the tomato paste, let everybody meld together. And then once that comes to a boil, we're gonna just slowly pour it into our slow cooker.
Okay.
And it sits there
Because I thought for
all
a second
day.
it was just those things. Where's the liquid? But that's the braising liquid.
That's right.
Okay. See
Yeah.
how quickly I catch on? Anna, it only took me about 2 minutes.
That's right. See, and you know what? Like when I was practicing this dish, woke up first thing in the morning, it was in the slow cooker in 15, 20 minutes.
They come together super quick, for sure. And then how long does it sit around in there?
So it depends on how big your roast is. So if it's a little smaller roast, it took maybe 5 to 6 hours on high. If you want it all day, low, probably 8 hours.
Okay.
But pretty much your tester is gonna be when
It
just
pulls apart
pulling
nice
apart.
and easy.
Yeah, it's
okay.
gonna just fall apart. So we're just gonna pour this into the slow cooker, just nice and gentle. Oh yeah.
Looks very promising.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Settle that in.
And it's kind of like a perfect game day sort of deal. Like sometimes if you have a bunch of people coming over, it's like, what am I going to make? You know, and this is great because it can serve a lot of people, and it's like you don't have to have plates for it, right? You can just like make them up, and as we will demonstrate shortly.
And it makes quite a bit too. So even if you have leftovers, it makes super good leftovers. It freezes really well. I mean, it's a great dish.
The meat freezes once it's already been. Oh,
totally.
cool. Okay, cool.
Did you know that cattle are raised throughout Manitoba, even as far north as the Pas, by over 6,000 beef producers? Manitoba's 4 distinct seasons and landscape are ideal for raising cattle. So after that's been finished, what we do is we'll take the meat out, boom, it's put in its bowl.
Ta-da.
And if you want, you can even just start pulling that apart.
Yep.
So we're left with the carrots, onions, all that goodness in that pot. So I typically just throw that in a blender, throw it in the blender, blitz it, and then I put it through a fine mesh strainer. And
that's what you have.
And then we get this beautiful, luscious gravy.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So the luscious gravy, which then you can season, add extra salt, pepper. I add a little Tabasco to it.
I was going to say a little bit of heat maybe.
Yeah,
hey?
for sure. And even like I don't know, my mom always had this like gravy browning seasoning liquid in her cupboard.
Okay, I have a vague recollection of that.
Right?
Yeah.
Just to make gravy, like it's mostly caramel color in there. Just to make it a little darker.
Yeah.
And so you can add a bit of that. I mean, yeah.
I didn't know that was still a thing, but why wouldn't it be?
Feel free.
Okay.
So then we're just gonna add a little bit of this lusciousness to this lusciousness.
And then we just want
And then you're just gonna stir it up with,
Okay. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got a really interesting kind of, well, not sweet, but sort of, I don't know. Well, we should maybe taste it. We'll have to taste this eventually. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about the slaw because that's interesting too,
okay.
right?
Coleslaw. We have a recipe in my family that we've been using for years and years and years. Yeah, it was passed down. I've kind of adjusted a little bit. So we've got some lemon, like it's pretty acidic. I've added some garam masala in there.
Oh, wow, okay, cool.
But I've thrown in some shaved fennel and a little slivered mango in there. So it kind of has some nice kind of ethnic, kind of those bright curry kind of notes to there. And the sweetness kind of contrasts well with this nice kind of darkness with the slider.
And I'm guessing you can probably find that recipe as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep. Recipes
cool.
all together.
All right. So there we go. That is the pulled beef sliders with mango and fennel slaw. And like, who doesn't love a slider, right? Okay. So when we come back, we're carrying on with our game day theme, and we're going to do carne asada nachos.
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's right.
Okay. When we come back on Great Taste, don't go away.